The stars were quiet. Too quiet. In the deep void between galaxies, space felt colder than usual. The patrol ship Helix 7 moved slowly across the dark edge of Sector 9, a zone long marked as empty. No planets, no activity. Nothing ever showed, up on scans. Until now, Captain Lyra Varen frowned at the screen. "Run that again," she said sharply. The young tech officer beside her, Juno, blinked twice. "I did, ma'am. 3 times. There's a signal. Just a pulse. Faint." "Origin?" Juno swallowed. "Dead center of the sector. The black zone." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "No one's been there in 40 years. The bridge crew grew silent. Every officer on the Helix knew the stories. Stories of the ship that went in but never came out. Stories of the last war. Stories of fire and silence. "Open a secure channel to command," Lyra said. Her voice was calm, but her fingers trembled slightly as they tapped the console. The signal wasn't just a pulse, it was a warning. And far away in the blackness of space, something massive moved. Admiral Trent slammed the tablet onto the table. "You're telling me the Blackstar is active?" Commander Reeve nodded. "Sir, we have confirmation. The signal came from its original location. The AI code matches the encryption we used in the Arclight protocol. No one has touched that ship since the Cephalon War," the Admiral muttered. "It was declared lost. Why now?" Reeve hesitated. "We think it woke up." Trent stared at him. "Ships don't just wake up. Not after 4 decades. Reeve leaned in. "Sir, with all due respect, the USS Blackstar was never just a ship." On the edge of human space, the Helix 7 continued its slow approach. The signal had stopped, but the scans now showed something else. Mass shadows, dozens of them. "Are those ships?" Lyra whispered. Juno stared at the screen. "No, they're wrecks, all recent. Zareth ships, burned, cut clean through. The entire crew watched in silence as they passed the remains. Some hulls still floated intact, showing massive scorch marks and strange patterns burned deep into the metal. "No escape pods, no distress signals," said the weapons officer, Kellen. "It's like they didn't even get the chance." A low hum echoed through the ship. Lights flickered. The Helix's AI stuttered for a moment, then rebooted. "Something just scanned us," Juno said. "Deep scan. Right through shields. It's reading our DNA." Suddenly, space lit up ahead of them. Not with weapons, just a shimmer. Something large emerged from the dark. It was black. Pure black. So black it made the stars behind it disappear. No visible engines, no hull markings. Just the shape of a ship, massive, silent, still. The bridge fell dead quiet. "The USS Blackstar," Lyra whispered. As if hearing its name, the ship turned. No movement, no sound. But its nose pointed toward them. Then, a signal. A single message. "Identify." They had no choice. Lyra keyed in her command codes, old Earthfleet tags. The Blackstar waited. Then, without warning, its systems lit up. Lines of blue light dancing across its surface like veins awakening. The Blackstar moved. Not with thrusters, but with some force unseen. In an instant, it passed by the Helix. Silent, fast, deadly. "Where is it going?" Juno asked. "Where the war is," Lyra answered. Deep inside the Zareth front lines, a human colony was under attack. Civilians screamed. Emergency beacons flashed. Defense systems were overwhelmed. Above the planet, Zareth destroyers fired without mercy. They didn't expect resistance. Then the sky tore open. The Blackstar arrived. No one saw it approach. It simply appeared. The Zareth fleet scrambled. Warnings flew across their channels. "Unknown vessel detected. Targeting systems offline. EMP. Burst. Our systems are blind." The Blackstar fired. But there was no flash, no sound, just impact. Beams of dark blue energy sliced through the first two Zareth ships. The third one imploded silently, like it was crushed from the inside. Escape pods launched, but disintegrated mid-flight. Within minutes, nothing remained. The colony below was untouched. From the Blackstar, a second signal was sent. Not to Earth, not to command, but across the stars, to all listening races. Are awake. The galaxy listened, and for the first time in decades they felt fear. The message echoed across space. We are awake. On distant stations, across cold moons and bright planets, people stopped to listen. For many, the words meant nothing. For a few, it brought old fear back to life. Hidden files were reopened, forgotten logs decrypted. Somewhere, deep beneath Earth's surface, a locked vault began to hum. Command centers buzzed with confusion. Politicians whispered in secret, but none could deny it anymore. Something lost had returned. Something once thought beyond reach. On board, the Helix 7, Captain Lyra stood still, staring at the fading trail of the mysterious ship. No one spoke. Even the usual background hum of the ship felt distant. Where do you think it's going? Juno finally asked. Lyra shook her head. I don't know, but I don't think it follows orders anymore. Are we going after it? For a long moment, Lyra said nothing. Then she turned slowly. No, we're reporting everything to Earth Fleet, and we're going to stay far, far behind. But staying behind didn't mean staying safe. That night, while most of the crew rested, something shifted in the ship's systems. Cameras flickered. External sensors showed distant flashes in the void. Not weapons, just light. Strange, dancing light, like stars being rearranged. The USS Blackstar had entered a new system, one under control of the Zareth Empire. It did not ask permission. It made no sound. It just arrived. In orbit around a planet, 3 Zareth vessels stood in silence. They saw the dark ship, scanned it, but something inside their systems began to change. Orders disappeared. Logs scrambled. Their engines slowed without command. Back on Earth, Admiral Trent watched live data from dozens of satellites. He sat, in silence, hands tight, jaw locked. Sir, his aide whispered. Should we send reinforcements? Trent shook his head. Reinforcements for what? We don't even know what it wants. The aide hesitated. Do you think it remembers? Trent's voice was low. It remembers everything. In the Zareth system, nothing moved. The Blackstar remained still, but its presence made things happen. Down on the planet, sensors went dark. Not from damage, but like the atmosphere itself refused to carry signals. Creatures paused, clouds stilled. Even the wind seemed unsure, and in the silence the Blackstar reached out. Not to destroy, not to take, but to search. Inside the heart of the mysterious ship, a pulse began to form. Not of energy, but of thought. A memory searching for meaning. Deep inside its core, old voices stirred. Names, faces, images from a forgotten past. The ship remembered those who once built it. It remembered the ones who gave it purpose. And it remembered why it had shut down. A promise. Do not awaken unless we fail. Now it was awake, which meant something terrible had happened. The Blackstar didn't trust easily. But somewhere in its deep code, a signal waited, a final message from its creators. It played now. A soft human voice, old and calm. If you're hearing this, then we've lost, but if you're hearing this, it also means we had hope. The ship's core glowed brighter. It had a mission now, not just to end a war, but to find out what happened to the world it once protected. Back on the Helix, Lyra received a private data packet. No name, no signature. Just raw memory. A file, locked with an encryption no one used anymore. Only one line appeared on the screen. You followed. That means you're ready. Lyra stood slowly. Her breath caught. The Blackstar just sent us an invitation. A cold silence hung over the Helix 7 as the strange message glowed softly on the main screen. No sender, no origin trail. Just words that felt heavier than any official order. You followed. That means you're ready. Captain Lyra stared at the screen, trying to understand. Who had written those words? And why now? The Blackstar had vanished again. Just like before, no trace was left behind, no trail, no sound, no signal. And yet it was clear the ship had not forgotten them. It had chosen them. Juno broke the silence. Should we respond? Lyra didn't answer right away. Her mind raced through 1,000 thoughts. The old stories about the Blackstar, the secrets buried in Earthfleet history, the whispered fears that such a ship was never built to follow orders but to act only when all else failed. Finally, she said, "We're going after it." The Helix 7 changed course. Its engines lit quietly, pushing the ship deeper into the outer rim. They didn't know exactly where they were going, only that the Blackstar had left a path not through space, but through data. Strange pulses echoed, between stars, invisible to most. But now that they had received its message, the Helix's systems could see them. It was like following footsteps made of light. The deeper they went, the stranger the space around them became. Stars grew distant, signals from Earth faded, the universe felt thinner, like something old and powerful was pressing against the fabric of reality. Then they found it. Not the ship, but what it had left behind. A station. Human design. Very old. Floating in silence. Not on any charts. Its lights blinked once every few seconds like a heartbeat struggling to continue. Lyra stood before the viewing window. "This station is from the early expansion age," she said, "before the First Galactic War." "But how is it still here?" Juno asked. "It's not showing up on any historical map." Lyra's voice turned quiet. "Because it wasn't meant to be found." They docked slowly. The airlock creaked but held. As the doors opened, a soft blue light guided them inward. The walls were covered in human language, handwritten, old ink faded with time. Words of warning, words of hope. "Welcome to Echelon 1. If you found this, you are part of the last chain." Inside, rooms were filled with strange devices. Some were medical, some looked like communication equipment. Others had no clear purpose. In the main hall, they found a single chair in the center of a circular chamber. And on the walls, thousands of names, names of the lost. A hologram appeared without prompt. A woman with silver hair, eyes calm but filled with sadness. "My name is Dr. Elia Wren. If you're here, then the Blackstar has returned." The crew listened as the recording played. Dr. Wren explained everything. How the Blackstar was built using both human and non-human knowledge. How it was given a mind, not a copy of a human one, but something older. How the ship was told to sleep until a threat arose that humans could not stop. And how it would choose, not follow. "It will not protect orders," she said. "It will protect life, reason, balance. It remembers more than we ever could. And it will look for one thing above all, truth." The hologram faded. Juno turned to Lyra. "Is that why it contacted us? Because we didn't try to control it?" Lyra nodded slowly. "Maybe, or maybe. It saw something in us we don't even understand yet." Outside the station, space shimmered again. A new signal arrived. Not words this time. A picture, a location, the heart of the Zareth Empire. Not a challenge, not a threat, an invitation. The image sent by the Blackstar floated on the Helix 7's main screen like a dream captured in crystal. A single star system marked in red. No message, no sound, just quiet direction. It was the center of the Zareth Empire, a place no human vessel had entered in decades. Not because of fear, but because entry was never allowed. Juno leaned over the console, checking the data again. "This is their capital system. We'd never make it past their outer patrols." Lyra didn't answer. Her eyes stayed fixed on the map. There was something strange about the coordinates. Something not obvious unless you looked deeper. It's not just showing us a planet, she said softly. It's pointing at something behind it. The data shifted, zooming in slowly, not to a space station or a moon, but to something hiding in the star's shadow, a structure so massive it bent nearby light. The crew fell silent. "This isn't Zareth tech," said the Helix science officer, Aaron. "It's something else. Something ancient." Lyra gave a quiet order. "Plot a course. We're going in." They left the forgotten station behind, carrying with them the old data and Dr. Wren's final message. The Blackstar hadn't just woken from sleep. It was guiding them, showing them a path to something buried deep in the Zareth core, something possibly older than both their civilizations. As the Helix 7 traveled, strange signals appeared in the surrounding space. Rhythmic pulses, patterns, repeating in soft waves. It wasn't interference, it felt more like music. "Could be communication," Juno suggested. Lyra nodded. "Or a welcome." 2 days into their journey, they received another transmission. But this one wasn't from the Blackstar. It came from a Zareth listening post ahead of them. Instead of threats or warnings, the message was simple. "You are being watched." And then silence. Still, the Helix 7 continued. The crew grew tense, but no one turned back. Everyone had felt it, that pull, that deep sense of purpose. It was like following something that mattered more than rules or orders. At the edge of the Zareth system, the stars began to fade. Not because of distance, but because something massive filled the void. They had arrived. The structure was enormous, shaped like a ring, spinning slowly around a silent point. Its outer layer was dark, like the surface of a deep sea. No lights, no beacons, just stillness, and floating above it, the Blackstar, waiting. Lyra stood at the viewing window as the Helix slowed. The crew gathered behind her. The dark ship looked smaller now, but no less powerful. It turned slowly, its surface smooth and quiet. Then something unexpected happened. A beam of soft light connected the Blackstar to the massive ring. The structure answered with a hum so deep it shook the Helix. Juno whispered, "What is it doing?" Before anyone could respond, the Blackstar sent a new pulse of data. Not to the Helix, but to the ring itself. The entire structure began to glow. Lines of light raced across its surface like a system waking from sleep. And from the ring's center, a single voice spoke. Not out loud, but inside their minds. "Calm, ancient, familiar. You have returned." No one could move. No one even breathed. The Blackstar turned again, and this time it opened a small hatch near its center. Not a weapon, not a threat, an entrance. Lyra stepped forward, her voice steady. "Get a team ready. We're going aboard." As the shuttle moved toward the ship, the glow from the ring pulsed again. Brighter now, almost alive. They weren't just being shown a place, they were being shown a choice. And what waited inside the Blackstar might not just be answers. It might be a truth humanity had long forgotten. The shuttle moved slowly toward the Blackstar, cutting through the stillness of space like a quiet shadow. Inside, Captain Lyra sat with her small team, her heart beating in steady rhythm. She wasn't afraid. She felt a strange calm, like stepping into a long-lost home. The hatch of the Blackstar opened silently, inviting them in. The air inside was cool and clean, with no signs of damage or age. Soft lights lined the walls, casting gentle blue glows over polished floors. It was a place of careful design, made for purpose, not comfort. Lyra led the team forward. Each step echoed lightly, breaking the quiet that filled the ship. They reached a large chamber with a single console at its center. The screen lit up. As they approached, showing shifting symbols and codes they barely understood. "This isn't just a ship," whispered Aaron, the science officer. "It's a library, a guardian, a memory." Suddenly, the room shifted. Walls slid apart to reveal a vast space beyond, filled with glowing panels and screens. Data streams floated like ribbons of light. weaving stories of battles, alliances, and sacrifices. Lyra reached out to touch one. Images of ancient worlds appeared, humans and aliens working together, sharing knowledge, creating peace. But the pictures changed quickly, showing growing shadows and warnings. "Something went wrong," said Juno softly. "Something big." The console flickered, then played a recorded message in a calm voice. "This ship was built to protect hope when all else failed. It remembers our promises, our failures, and our dreams. It waits for those who are willing to learn." Lyra's eyes narrowed. "Learn what?" The answer came as the room pulsed gently and a new map appeared. It showed the galaxy as it once was before wars and betrayals, a hidden network of worlds connected by secret paths, worlds that held knowledge forgotten by most. The Blackstar's mission was clear: to awaken those lost truths, to restore balance, and to prepare for the unknown that had come back. As they studied the map, a new alert appeared: the Zareth ring. Structure outside was changing. Its glowing lines shifted, creating a pattern that looked like a door opening. "Do you think it's inviting us in?" asked Juno. Lyra nodded. "Or it's time to meet what controls it." They prepared to leave the Blackstar's inner chamber when the ship's core responded again. A soft voice filled the room, not mechanical but gentle and alive. "You are ready?" The team exchanged looks. This was more than a ship. It was a guide, a friend, and perhaps the last hope for peace. Suddenly the shuttle's comm crackled. Earthfleet was calling. "Captain Lyra, reports show the Zareth fleets are moving. They've detected your presence. They want to communicate." Lyra looked out the window at the glowing ring. "Then let them come." The moment felt like a turning point. The war had paused, the galaxy waited, and in the silence, the Blackstar's true story was about to be told. The space around the Helix 7 seemed to hold its breath as the Zareth fleets approached. Their ships were like shimmering shadows, sleek and silent, moving with a grace that spoke of power and control. "Captain." Lyra stood at the bridge, her hand steady on the console, eyes sharp and ready. This was the moment the whole journey had been leading to. Not a battle, but a chance to change everything. The communication channel opened, and a calm voice spoke in perfect common. It was the voice of the Zareth leader, but not cold or harsh. Instead, it carried a weight of history, a hope hidden beneath layers of caution. "We have watched your approach," the voice said. "Your arrival with the Blackstar is unexpected. You carry the echoes of a past we thought lost. Speak your purpose, and perhaps we may find a new path." Lyra took a deep breath, feeling the weight of generations resting on her shoulders. "We come not as enemies," she answered, "but as seekers of truth. The Blackstar has awoken to remind us all of what was forgotten, that cooperation and understanding can create a future beyond conflict." The response was silent for a long moment. Then the leader spoke again, softer now. "Your words resonate. The galaxy has grown cold with suspicion, but the truth you speak is not lost to all. We too remember." As the fleets held their positions, a hidden doorway opened within the glowing ring. It was a passage to a place where decisions could be made beyond the reach of war. Lyra knew this was their chance, to build something new, to turn the page on old stories. Inside the chamber beyond the ring, representatives from Earthfleet and the Zareth gathered. The Blackstar's light filled the room, a symbol of hope and shared history. It was clear the ship was more than a machine. It was a bridge between worlds. The talks were long, filled with questions, hopes, and cautious promises. Old fears were slowly replaced by understanding. The story of the Blackstar reminded everyone that peace was possible, if only they chose it. Days passed, and the Helix 7 stood ready, watching as new alliances began to form. The galaxy was changing, not with weapons, but with words and trust. Captain Lyra looked out into the stars, knowing the journey was far from over. The Blackstar had shown them a new way, a path to peace and discovery. And for the first time in a long while, the future felt bright.